You look good. Good.
You good?
All right. Hi everyone! It's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan. As you can see, I am not alone. Who am I with? Natasha.
Luca.
From That Vegan Couple. I don't know why I said it like that.
Together. Let's do it again.
We are from
That Vegan Couple.
Again, that was so weird. I think it's because we never say it like that. Yeah, how do you usually start your videos? You're like, hey guys!
Hey everyone!
There you go. We should have done it like that. Anyways.
Cheap Lazy Vegan.
We are on, yes, we are, oh, we're on my channel now. Yes. I'm confused. Okay. This is Natasha and Luca from That Vegan Couple here on YouTube and also on Instagram, right?
Yes, and Facebook and all
of the social medias. So if you guys are not subscribed to them, go and check them out. I'll link their channel down below. And also we actually filmed a mukbang on their channel.
Yes.
Before this.
So we're kind of exhausted and full,
yes,
but we're going to do it again.
And we know we've already got a lot of mutual subscribers, haven't we?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
But if you aren't subscribed to them, go and check them out. They do very different videos than I do, but more like a animal rights activism approach.
But we've also got the mukbangs.
Right. Yes, you do. You do mukbangs too. Yes.
Mukbangs section. We got the response videos.
Response videos. Yes.
Vlogs.
Street activism. It's just
it's a variety show.
Yes.
It's a coordinated thing.
Yeah. They are traveling from Australia right now. They're doing a tour in Canada.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yes. They're in my home, guys.
Yeah.
It's so cool. But I mean, it's an activism tour, so it's focused on getting vegans to become active for animals in some way. So that's all like the really serious stuff and the workshop and the events. And then we get to do fun stuff like eat noodles with Rose.
Yay.
It's awesome.
Yes, so we're gonna eat some noodles. This is, oh yeah, it's an episode of Munching Mondays. If you guys don't know, that's
cool.
That is my
Munching
mukbang
Mondays.
series.
Ooh,
yes.
nice.
So on Mondays we do mukbang here on this channel. I just taught them how to say mukbang. Can you say it now?
Mukbang.
Very close.
You sound like a guy.
You sound like an Australian guy trying to speak Korean.
There you go. There you go.
Which is what you are.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Mukbang.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, great. I'm teaching them how to speak Korean. Anyways,
so cool.
so we're about to eat some japchae. Can you say?
Oh God.
Yeah, say it again.
Japchae.
Japchae.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Oh, great. Yes. Japchae is this glass noodle thing here.
Okay.
Okay.
So these are Korean glass noodles. Probably got cold again because we talk a lot. But yeah, so these are Korean glass noodles, japchae. This is actually a dish from my cafe. This is a smaller portion because we just ate. So anyways, slightly smaller portion.
If you haven't been to the cafe, you've got to go. We
Yes.
went on the first day we arrived in Calgary
Yes,
and it
they
was
surprised me.
amazing. Amazing. No, seriously,
good.
not just saying that, the food is incredible.
Yay, they enjoyed themselves. Thank you.
We did.
Thank you for coming.
And you know, you
Thank
got that map of
The world.
the world, and
Yes.
people can put a pin from where they've come from.
We did that.
It was full though. It was absolutely
Yes,
full.
right?
People
Is that
from
crazy?
all over the world.
Yeah,
came here, yeah.
crazy. So come by if you're ever in Calgary. We are in Calgary, Canada right now. They're off to Edmonton in like 2 days.
Wednesday. Yes.
On Wednesday.
It's been
Won't
great
count
here in
because
Calgary,
this will be
though.
up on Monday.
Oh yeah, so they're already there. They're already
already
somewhere.
there.
They're
Yeah.
somewhere else. And we also serve it with a side of vegan dumplings. Yeah.
Yum.
I gave you guys a couple extra. for
Thank
fun.
you so much. I think Natasha might be Korean by heart because she loves dumplings and noodles.
Oh,
particularly
really?
glass noodles.
Yeah,
Have you had glass noodles?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because
okay.
we used to live in Thailand.
Right.
They're popular there
Noodles
too.
were just
Right.
like a staple.
Oh.
I love it.
Thai food is so good.
It is very good.
And did you find it easy to be vegan there? Oh, I guess we're just gonna
Super
dig
easy.
in. Oh, we have questions. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's eat first.
Let's eat?
Let's have a
Okay.
bite.
Okay.
Yes. Even though we just ate, but that's fine.
Yum. Yeah.
Noodles.
You can't have bad noodles.
Yeah, that's it.
It's only like a gradient of how good they can be. Right?
Correct.
Yes, very true. So this is traditionally it's a Korean dish, japchae.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there's meat or egg in there, but obviously we took that out. We added some bean curd, which
Is
is
that what this is? I was just going to ask
yeah.
you. I love
These
the
things?
texture.
Yeah.
Love the
Yes,
texture.
yes, which is basically like tofu, but it's like that kind of that skin of tofu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that we just add that in there, and my
cool.
mom makes the sauce, and it's the bomb.
I was going to say, I thought it was ginger, and I'm like, whoa. That's going to be intense.
So much ginger.
We need to get more bean curd in our life. We've got a lot of tofu in our lives and a lot
Yes.
of tempeh and a lot of edamame
Right.
and soybeans, but
We'd be
we need to
craving,
get
yeah.
more bean curd.
Yeah.
That is
Put that on the list,
bomb.
baby.
Bean
That is
curd.
really
Bean curd.
good. Like the texture. Wow.
Yeah, isn't it great? Soy is just awesome.
It is.
What do you know anything
Soy is
about
life.
soy? Yeah, you know
Soy is
people
life.
say it's like bad for you. What do you think about that?
They're bad for soy.
If you think about it, soy is high in protein and fat.
Right.
What else is high in protein and fat?
I don't know. Animal products?
Right. So they're the biggest threat and competitor to meat and other animal products, right? So isn't it in the animal products' best interest to sort of defame and
Soy.
what's another word for defame?
Oh, just like
Vilify,
demonize it.
you know, create a shadow of doubt around.
Yeah, because if you can get all these products made from soy, then what do you need to eat animals for and their secretions, right?
Yeah. So that's my sort of take on it. And if you look at science as collated by reputable organisations like Nutrition Facts or Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine,
Right.
They've got, you know, scientific studies from peer-reviewed journals on soy.
Yeah.
And, you know,
It's fine.
it's absolutely fine. Yeah. Obviously, the closer you eat it to its whole form, like
The better.
edamame, the
Right,
better.
the
better.
And like anything, the more you process something, the less healthful it becomes.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not linked to our leading causes of death like
Right.
animal products
Right.
are.
Exactly.
You know? So
It's delicious.
this is
Right?
absolutely
Yay!
delicious.
So yeah, because we've actually been following each other since
Years.
the beginning.
Forever.
Yeah.
I followed you guys before I started my channel.
We started-
I think your name was something else. You had a different
Yes,
name.
it
Yeah.
was. It used to be
Move Me Yoga.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we were yoga
Yeah.
teachers and we were, we were yoga teachers.
Yeah.
Right?
But then you got a better name, I think.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
more marketable.
Well, it's interesting because nobody could remember that name. And
It was a long name. It was hard to remember.
It
See, I don't
was.
remember that name.
No,
Yeah.
and people would say, "Oh, that's they're vegan, the couple, that couple." And they're like, "Oh, we're that vegan couple." So it just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
We sounded like minions then. Oh. You like the minions? They're gorgeous. They love papaya.
What?
They love papaya.
Do they love
Papaya, papaya, papaya. I can do that thing again. Papaya, papaya, papaya.
Is this from the movie? Like
Yeah.
the Minions movie?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
You've never
Oh.
seen it?
No.
They're also like in other Minions movies, aren't they? Like Despicable
Yeah,
Me.
I've seen Despicable
Oh,
Me.
okay.
That's where they
Okay.
came from,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But they've got their own Minions movie.
Oh, okay. You're a big fan.
They're funny. Like,
We're off on a way different topic than
Yeah, we are.
that was intended, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We got questions from Instagram.
Okay, yeah. So I asked
the
you
point
guys.
is you were following the channel right from the beginning.
Yes,
As you
yes,
were
that's
with
what we were
yours.
saying. Yes,
Yeah.
okay. So we were following
Each other from the
for
beginning.
a long time, for years, and now we're
Here
here.
we are.
Isn't that
All
crazy?
these years later.
Yeah, YouTube.
Eating noodles in Kelp.
Noodles in Canada.
And
Whoever
dumplings.
knew?
Don't forget the
Yeah.
dumplings.
Oh yeah, the
They're
dumplings are great.
too.
Wow, I never thought. Yeah, this is crazy. And I was in London, living in London at the time. I think you guys were living in Thailand or something.
Yeah.
So, wow.
And I was asking you before why you left one cold climate for another. That was for a
I
different
didn't really
experience,
have
of course.
much of a reason for that. Anyways, yeah, so I asked you guys on Instagram to ask us questions because we already filmed mukbang, we already chatted a lot. So we're like, what are we gonna talk about? And I'm sure you guys have lots of questions for us. So let's see what you have. I actually haven't seen any.
I've got a tip for you too.
Oh,
I got a tip
really?
for you,
Okay,
So if
okay.
yours aren't any good, we'll right
Okay.
now.
I don't know if I haven't even looked at this.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Okay.
Whew. Should I just
Oh,
randomly
yeah.
start?
Yeah.
What is the hardest part of being vegan?
Nothing really. It's really easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2019. Why am I still holding this? Well, it's 2019. It's so easy. Food's accessible. It's becoming more normalized. You no longer looked at some kind of alien from Planet Vegan. Everybody, I feel, in their life knows of a vegan or knows of veganism. Yeah?
No, I don't
Really?
think so. I didn't know of
Oh.
veganism.
No, but like right now.
now maybe, yeah.
That's what I mean,
In
right
the
now.
maybe in like the Western countries, maybe not so much in certain countries, but in certain countries.
Okay, so
yes.
like when we're outreaching, virtually everyone I speak to, they definitely know what vegan is. Or there's
Or
an
they think they
awareness of it, or they know someone. Oh yeah, my sister's vegan, or my boyfriend's sister is vegan, or my cousin. There's always someone. So just feels becoming more normalized. I guess the challenges that people often talk to us about are dealing with families. So if you're
Yeah.
younger and you're living with your non-vegan parents and
Yeah.
they don't want to make separate meals for you, how do I deal with that? If your partner isn't vegan and they're not open to veganism or even transitioning or learning about the information, that's hard.
Yeah, I think emotionally, knowing that veganism is the best thing for animals, people, and the environment, and loving your family and friends like
Right.
we do,
Yeah.
and wanting them to not hurt animals and to do the best thing by their own health and to help the planet as best they can. Knowing all of that, but then struggling to communicate that message sometimes,
it's a conflict.
Yeah, and then having that message met with resistance or defensiveness, that can really hurt.
That's the hardest part.
I think so.
It's a social thing. All-encompassing, in my opinion, all-encompassing, the most difficult thing is the social aspect, not just going out to eat, but like dealing with your friends and family and people that don't understand where you're coming from. I think that's the most difficult thing.
It hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
And then you think that people that I think I talked about this in some video. Anyway, you think that people that you love that don't want to go vegan, you're like, oh my God, are they like bad people?
Yeah.
Or, you just have these thoughts going into your head.
Yeah, how can they not care about this?
Yes, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're a good person.
Yeah, totally.
And that they really don't want to contribute to hurting and exploiting animals.
Yeah.
And so you wonder how they can continue to do so. And then it makes you think about, wow, it's quite a magic trick, if you like, that the animal products industry has sort of, got us all under their spell, if you like.
Yeah,
Where
we're just going along with this, and it's like,
yeah. Vegan psychologist Claire Mann calls it, we're in a trance-like
How do you
illusion.
know these things? I feel like I watch your videos and you always have these like random quotes and I'm like, oh my God, you have like
Mr. Random over here.
but this is what we do.
Off on a tangent over here.
Your brain is functioning very well in a video. I got to see it live in real life. This experience, it's great. Sorry, I'm sorry, I totally interrupted.
Not at all.
I'm
all
so
good.
rude.
It's all good.
Okay, so vegan psychologist.
That's what we do in mukbangs anyway. We sort of go off
Constantly
on tangents,
interrupting
talk
each
over
other.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw in random quotes here and there.
Yeah.
Vegan psychologist
Yes.
Claire Mann says we're all kind of like in a trance-like collusion,
Okay. Right.
eating and exploiting animals.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like, how do we break that trance? That's the question, isn't it? And there's no one way. Because
Right.
if there was a way, a vegan
We'd
would
all
have
do
worked
it.
it out by now.
Yeah.
And,
But it's
we'd have veganized
education.
the world. But
Like
education, that's
it's
the
not
key.
one way, as you said, but it is in a way because it's education. It's just there are different ways to deliver that education. Yeah, right. So basically, to answer the question, the hardest thing about being vegan is dealing with other people. Veganism, in and of itself, I don't think is that hard.
Yes.
Right now in 2019,
Yes.
especially in the West, there's an abundance of everything we need. There's so much information. It's very well supported in many ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the more people go vegan, the more there's going to be
Of course.
the social support. So it's kind of like a what do you call it? Snowball effect?
Yes.
Is that the right term?
Yeah, snowballing.
absolutely.
So I think it's gonna get more and more easier.
Yeah.
In a
As
sense.
it continues to gain traction as a movement.
Yes.
I'm cramping. I'm just going to say.
Use the fork and fork. I brought you a fork for a reason.
No,
You
I
haven't
wanted.
mocked us yet either.
Huh?
You haven't mocked us yet. For
It's not bad.
Not bad?
You're not doing bad. You're eating. Food's going in the mouth. Really? Does it cramp?
Yeah.
That's so strange.
It's because I think I was like doing it too intensely because I'm
Maybe.
like focusing.
You're trying to like talk and eat at the same time.
Just relax. Okay.
All
next
right.
question.
Let's see. What is the next question? An easy and quick breakfast idea for on the go.
Oh, welcome to our world. Perfect question. Let us introduce you to the wonderful world of oatmeal.
How did I know you were gonna say that?
We have been eating oatmeal every day for breakfast for how many years?
Almost 4 years.
We promise you, like every day.
But we,
Every day.
But
Every
we
day.
vary it up. So we'll have regular traditional rolled
It's not
oats.
really that varied up.
We'll have steel cut oats, quick oats.
It sounds like Forrest Gump. No,
Yeah.
it was non-vegan, but
I
shrimp
eat rice
pie,
every day, but I
shrimp
vary it
soup.
up. Short grain, long grain.
Medium grain, wild rice. It's true, arborio, sushi rice. Come on, there's a lot of varieties.
That's variety.
For a
Red,
vegan, I actually
brown,
eat very
white.
little oatmeal. Maybe I should eat more oatmeal.
You don't eat oatmeal?
It's good.
I eat it, but it's not my favorite. I know we can't be friends.
I'm sorry.
I knew this would be the source of conflict.
No, but seriously, any grain.
I should eat more though. It's supposed to be really
so good for you, but it's tasty as well. Well, the thing is, it has a taste, but it's not a strong taste. It's kind of like your blank canvas.
Yeah,
so it's like tofu. It's what you put with it, right? So our breakfast, as we said,
Right.
is oats, and then we'll put frozen berries.
Right.
Fresh berries if we can get them, but they're usually frozen.
Whatever fresh fruits in season at the time. Typically, bananas are in season all around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's generally banana with something else. At the moment,
Yeah.
we're doing like grapes, aren't we?
Grapes
Or,
are great. Peaches
stone
and
fruit.
nectarines are
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Peach.
mangoes if they're in season.
Oh,
or
mangoes.
whatever.
The
So
key,
good.
can I just say the key, has to have cinnamon. We travel with cinnamon. Do you know that?
I believe it.
We wrap it up and put it in our suitcase.
Right.
So cinnamon is key.
A little bit of peanut butter, nuts and seeds.
Yeah, you can use plant milk if you want to. We don't. We do in the winter when it's really cold, but generally it doesn't need it because it's just so much flavor. And when it's warmer, you don't like it feels heavier.
Yeah, but the option's there if you need
Yeah,
it.
because you can make it like more milky, like a pudding.
Yeah,
which is
I think I
gorgeous.
like mine with plant
With
milk.
milk.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, if you don't like oatmeal, you can do exactly what we said. So do all the other same ingredients and change oatmeal to something like quinoa, toasted buckwheat groats, farro. Have you heard of farro?
farro.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's
I heard
really
millet is good.
Yeah, millet,
that's good.
amaranth. Like
Right.
you've got so many people do rice meals sometimes, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
So there's like so many options.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
I like tofu scramble. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite
Absolutely.
breakfasts.
We usually have that for
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah,
We'll have that
that's
for
good
lunch
too.
on toast with hummus and
Yeah.
all the fixings.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
There's so many
So
options.
good.
Yes.
I have recipes on my channel.
A
you
lot
know-
of recipes.
Yes.
You know what's
I have
so
a
funny?
breakfast playlist. I'll link
Do
it down
you?
below. I'm sure
You've
I do.
got a playlist
yes.
for everything.
I have
seen
so
your
many
playlist.
playlists.
And the reason I know is because as I was saying in the other mukbang video that we just filmed, I've shared your How to Live Vegan on $3 a day playlist so many times. But anyway, to get to that, I have to go through all the other playlists, and there are so many. I
have way too
thought
many.
we had a lot. Like we got a lot, but you.
I need to clean up my playlist. It's just a mess, basically.
No, it's good. It's very well categorized. I struggles to find.
You appreciate it because every time Luca makes a new playlist, I'm like, stop making playlists. There are so many.
No, it's good. Categorization is important.
Oh my god, it's not a library, people. It's
YouTube is a library.
I don't know, like
I
how
give
many
up.
people go, like I do wonder how many people go into the playlist.
You know how
and
you can
search.
tell? You go to the playlist to edit it, and it'll show
Oh,
you
it
how many
shows you
times
the
it's
views.
been
Right,
viewed.
right. Yeah, there's, they do work.
I was surprised at that. I showed you something had like
I didn't care, I've got to
10,000
be
views
honest.
on a
Oh no, I
playlist.
dropped a carrot.
So
The
people
playlists
do-
are important, especially when you do something like, for example, my mukbang videos, like these videos. It's very specific audience. Like
Yes.
not everybody wants to watch these.
Correct.
So then they can go straight to the playlist. Which, by the way, I do have a playlist.
You got a playlist full of playlists?
Next, I mean, did that answer the question? Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
This is not an ad for oats.
We tried to get sponsored by an oatmeal company. No one would sponsor us.
That's just sad.
That is sad, and we'd send them like
We'd send them
Snapchat and
pictures.
Instagram pictures of all of our followers who we'd influence to eat oatmeal for breakfast, like pages and pages
Yeah.
and pages. But no,
Oh.
I think it's because oatmeal's
reckon-
like established, you know.
Yeah, but I reckon
Yeah,
oatmeal
yeah.
sales have gone up because of that vegan couple, I have to say. The
Probably,
popularity.
totally.
Who knows?
I believe it. What are your favorite protein sources? These are very practical.
Yeah.
They are very practical. We are loving tofu. We're back on
Yeah.
the soy. We are just
Were
loving
you not
tofu.
on the soy for a while?
A little bit because we were focusing more on fruit and whole grains. But for
We're
the-
so glad to have reincorporated into our
yeah,
diet.
I mean we've always had tempeh. Tempeh's awesome,
I'd
especially
say
in
tempeh's
Asia.
our favourite.
Yeah,
We just like that.
the texture.
Yeah.
It's like
When I
nutty.
first tried tempeh, I did not like it.
Oh really?
And then but now I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more
It's like a
nutty and
weird,
meaty.
yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
a strange texture that I feel like you do kind of have to get used to in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I love it now.
And
Yeah.
is it fair to say that kind of similar to plant cheeses, sometimes you have to try a few different types
for
of
sure,
tempeh
yeah.
because they ferment it slightly differently. They use different cultures
Right.
or what have you. So you might try one and you don't like that particular texture.
Totally.
You could try another one. You're like, oh, I really like
Yeah,
that.
totally.
So do try different brands.
Yes. Tempeh, by the way, is like fermented soy product. It's not tofu at all.
No,
but-
it's a step before tofu.
Right,
So
okay.
in tempeh, you can still you can still see the beans, like the round
soybeans, yeah.
shape of the soybeans. Whereas with
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
No, with tofu it's just like one white, whole block spongy thing. So the tempeh is the step before.
And it's supposed to be really good for you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
best tempeh we've ever had is from Indonesia. In Bali, because I think it comes
It
from there.
originated from
Yeah.
Oh,
so
really?
they do it
Yeah.
super good.
Right.
Yeah. And you don't
Yeah.
even have to cook it. Like you can eat it fresh.
Right.
Did you know that?
I think so.
Yeah, in salads. You can put
Yeah.
it like straight in salads. It's amazing.
You can buy it either marinated or not marinated. I just buy mine marinated because I'm lazy, but you can marinate it yourself.
We marinated ourselves
Yeah,
generally.
totally.
Yeah.
If you don't want too much sodium or something, you could just do it yourself. Anyway, tempeh's good. Tofu, like hands down, probably my favorite.
Edamame.
Edamame is so good.
Oh, we haven't
So
had
good.
edamame.
Probably one of the most underrated foods on the
Totally.
face of
I talk
the
about
planet.
edamame all the time. I'm
Yeah.
like, and it's so easy. I don't know how you guys, like mine comes frozen and then
Yeah,
I just
frozen.
heat it up.
Yeah, it's already shelled.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's
You just throw it in
easier.
salads. I throw it in
Couldn't be
everything.
easier.
So easy.
The texture and the taste. And
So good.
And very satiating, I find, as well. Like, packs a punch.
Yeah.
It's great in bowls.
Yes, bowls.
Great in bowls.
I put it in what? In bowls?
Yeah, I know.
Say that again.
Yeah, bowls.
How do you say bowls?
Yeah, I know. This is the thing. Towels and bowls, when Australians say it, everyone else in the world struggles
I got
to...
noodles on my tooth. I get two.
Yeah, I know.
Bowls.
Okay, no, yours sounds more like bowls.
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 Sounds like
You
you're
sound
saying
like you're saying balls.
Does it?
Yes.
Put your balls in a bowl.
I thought you said bowls, and then I was like, did he say balls? And then I was like, do you put them in bowls?
I put my balls in a bowl.
Bowls. Balls. Can you see the
No,
difference
bowls. To me, bowls is like a bowl.
Yeah.
But you're saying bowls as in ball.
No, hang on a second.
Oh god, we're doing this again. Okay, say it.
Bowl. Ball.
Okay,
I
see.
feel like I'm on place.
Ball. Ball. You can see it is different, isn't it?
I hear it, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I do hear it a bit.
Yeah, but it's.
But it's because when we say ball, we say ball, right? So we're like, oh, can you pass me the ball? So that's very different from bowl. And say bowl again.
Which one?
Bowl.
Bowl.
Bowl. It's just like a little bit elongated.
No.
When you go bowling.
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 Hold on, wait. You want to go bowling? Yeah, bowling.
Bowling. Let's go bowling.
Let's go bowling. We're bowling, Rose.
We're bowling.
You can eat your bowl at the bowling.
Oh my god.
How do you say towel?
Towel?
Yeah, no.
Towel.
Towel.
Oh, okay. Here's another thing. This was like an argument amongst lots of people.
Yeah.
This was on some kind of American show.
Oh, wow.
I think it was on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy or
Oh
something.
yeah, we used to watch that.
Yeah, or no, is it no or five? I can't remember. Yeah, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Yeah.
Because they have a new season now, right? Yeah.
When did we ever watch that?
We used to watch it years and years and years.
It's
and
a very
years
old
ago.
show. Well, it was old, and then now they came out with new seasons.
Oh, okay.
Someone was saying, I don't want to say it because I feel like
But you have
I
to
want to
say it
hear
now.
you say it.
Okay.
You know the animal that climbs on trees, looks like a chipmunk, but not a chipmunk. It starts with an S. Yeah, say it again.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
What do you say?
Just joking.
Oh, that description.
That's gold.
I don't know. No, I just
That is
squirrel. Is that weird?
Yeah.
Say it again.
No,
Not
here's
really.
the thing. So apparently Americans say it like this: squirrel.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
squirrel.
And you draw it out.
And then I was like, because my friend was like, say it. And I was like, squirrel? And then she's like, we're like in between. The guy that said it was, so they were arguing, one American guy and a British guy, okay? So the British people were saying, the British guy was saying, squirrel.
Yes.
And then the Americans were like, squirrel. And I was like, neither are right. It's squirrel.
You draw it
That's
out.
awesome.
Squirrel. It's 2 syllable, right? Yeah.
I don't know what's right, but I like the sound of all three. It makes me laugh. Yeah.
Squirrel.
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 You guys talk differently. I don't know what's going on. Are you
do
from
not.
different parts of
No.
Australia?
No, we used to live 5 minutes apart.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No,
So the
it's pretty bad.
squirrel,
Went bowling with his balls.
and then ate from a bowl.
Moving on. Oh my god, that was just a tangent.
Next question.
Okay.
Be careful what you ask. No one even asked us about that, did they? No.
No,
we just went off on a tangent.
We went from edamame
It's
to
'cause you
balls.
said
On
bowl.
balls, sorry.
We're never gonna look
You
at
said bowl. Okay. Was it hard to find the balance with weight and getting enough of everything?
No.
I think it's the same person that asked about the protein. So no, I don't think so. Well, at least not for me.
Hold on, I don't understand the question.
I think she's meaning like balance with weight and getting enough of everything.
Okay.
Maybe like getting enough nutrients or balancing with
maybe getting enough
calories.
Okay.
I think. I don't know.
Sure. So look, the easiest thing is when you're focusing on whole plant foods, that's when you really don't have to worry about, counting calories and
What are whole plant foods?
I knew he was going to ask that question.
No, because there's a lot of confusion as to
Yeah.
what a lot of people would say tofu is a whole plant food.
Yeah. Now, okay. So, let's start
You're
again.
thrown off now.
Okay. So whole plant foods are foods in their whole form, like fruits and vegetables and whole grains and legumes and nuts and seeds.
That have been minimally processed.
Right?
Yeah.
So you've got like your standard whole foods. And then from there, there's kind of like a scale. Right? So
Right.
starting to go up that scale would be something like tempeh. And then tofu would be next. Now, your Gardein, chicken,
Fake chicken.
right, would be like further up that scale.
Because it started as soybean, right?
Yeah.
Or edamame in a pod, and then ended up
Traveled
just
up.
looking like something like chicken. So
Yeah.
that's quite a process in between.
Yeah,
Right.
Another example would be whole grains, right? Like wheat, whole wheat is a whole food. But when we process that into bread or pasta, even if it's whole grain bread or whole grain pasta, that's no longer a whole food. So it's just like slightly up that scale.
Doesn't mean it's not healthy. It just means it's no longer a whole food.
Yeah, and so therefore our body registers those calories differently compared to whole plant foods, the food in its whole form.
So it's easier to get satiated on brown rice, for example, than it is white rice, because brown rice still has the germ and all of the fiber and the bran.
Not germ as in like, ew, germ.
Whereas white rice has a bit of that removed, so it doesn't satiate and trigger satiation as quickly as the brown rice does.
So we're going to eat more calories
yeah.
because
Yeah.
we want that satiation.
So
of
that's
course.
the easiest way to strike a great body weight balance is just
Yeah.
eat more whole foods.
Yeah, make that the majority of your diet, make that the norm. And then the more processed foods are,
Yeah.
the smaller portion.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
example.
that's-
It's a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone kind of feels slightly differently on slightly different diets also. So you have to kind of try things out and like see, okay, do I want a little bit more fat in my diet? Like some people want
Yeah.
a little bit extra like
Yeah.
avocado or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. For me particularly, like I definitely need like a protein source in a meal. So I do the tofu and the beans and some people are fine without that stuff. So you just have to kind of like figure it out a little bit, a little trial and error.
Yeah. It's also important to remember that, you said you'd like to have a protein source. What you mean more accurately, I guess, is a source of plant foods that's higher in protein.
Yes.
Given that all whole plant foods contain all three macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and
Yeah.
fat, just in varying ratios. So yeah, like your legumes are going to have a higher ratio or proportion of protein
Yeah.
than something like a banana.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next.
By the way, what is that? Is that like a drink, a bottle of sauce?
It's tamari. Oh, I
my
brought
God.
it and I forgot to give it to you.
It was facing the other way, and I'm like, did she just put down a bottle of port or something? I didn't see it. I'm like, we all getting drunk after this?
Getting drunk off tamari.
Tamari
Yay.
for the win every time. Love tamari.
It's so good. Do you want it? Oh, you're already done your food.
Yeah.
By the way, I know you tried to like secretly blow your nose in the corner there. Hey, we got busted. I saw it.
I'm gonna be editing. I'm gonna be like, what's he doing? I think you guys will have a field day with this one. How do you feel about vegans leaving the lifestyle because it's not environmentally friendly? Have you heard of this?
That isn't even a thing. Like, I don't understand.
I don't
you heard of
understand
it?
either. I think they say that it's not as sustainable as. I can't remember the argument. I have heard something. I think they were talking about how grass-fed beef is more sustainable than a vegan diet or
Sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Take this one, Luca. I'm out.
well, people can learn all about this actually in a documentary film called Cowspiracy, The Sustainability Secret, which is free on Netflix. And in there you'll learn that actually grass-fed beef is worse for the environment than factory farmed beef. And that is because it takes longer for a cow to reach market weight eating grass than it does eating grain, for example. When they eat grain, they get fatter and reach market weight a lot faster than if they're just eating grass. Now, the reason that's a problem for the environment is given that they're going to be alive longer, they're going to emit more methane gas, which is a very
gas.
potent greenhouse gas.
Like their gas.
Yeah, when they
Yeah,
fart
right.
and belch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when they fart and belch, if they're alive longer, they're going to be farting and belching more,
Yeah.
thus producing more methane gas, which is really bad for the
Yeah,
environment.
and people don't realize how, because like it sounds like a joke, right? You're like, oh, they're farting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gas,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
actually severely bad for the environment because
Yeah.
there's so many.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Methane, I believe, is around 72 times more potent a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide, which is emitted by cars,
Right.
for example, that run on
Right.
fossil fuels. Yeah.
And the other thing is, of course, with grass-fed animals, we have to clear so much more land and forest for those animals to live. And so the number one cause of deforestation, especially in the Amazon, is because of animal agriculture. Either grazing land or land to grow those crops that are going to be fed to animals as well.
And when we clear that land, so we're chopping down trees in rainforests, those rainforests are referred to as like the lungs of the earth. And that's because they sequester a lot of the carbon dioxide and they emit oxygen that we breathe. So we chop them down, we reduce our ability to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, we reduce the amount of oxygen available for us to breathe, plus we then graze animals that produce more greenhouse gases in the form of methane. It's an environmental disaster.
So I don't know how you would think that that is more
Maybe that's not
sustainable.
what they meant, but I don't know.
No, I think that's what they meant as
Yeah.
well, because it was put forth in Cowspiracy and dispelled because it's a common myth and misconception that people have. So
Okay.
my thinking was along
Right.
your lines.
So if that's what you meant, then there you go. You have an answer. And plus, it's not sustainable in terms of the number of people that are able to
Yes.
eat this food anyway. So if you
Yes.
think about, if you get rid of, like the reason why people are able to eat so much meat is because of the fact that we have slaughterhouses and very small, we keep these, animals in very, very small.
Whoops. That was my long legs. I accidentally kicked
So
the
yeah,
camera. Apologies, everyone.
So yeah, the reason why we are able to have, not able to, but there's so much meat and animal product is because of the fact that they're not grass fed. So if we only have grass fed, then you'd be surprised that most people are not going to be able to eat meat anyway because it's going to be too expensive and there's only going to be a very small percentage of the population that are able to eat it. So what's the rest of the population going to eat? If you're taking up all of that land for just those grass fed cows, then what's everyone else going to eat?
Exactly.
So-
Well said. And also, where are we going to live? Because apparently, around 45% of the Earth's land surface is currently taken up by animal agriculture.
Yeah,
so if
that's
we need to get them out of factory farms and put them all in grasslands, where are we going to live?
Yeah.
We'd have to clear cities and everything
Yeah.
like that to make way for these grasslands. I mean,
It doesn't make
Makes no
sense.
sense.
It makes no sense.
Do you want tea again? Should we? Tea?
Are you gonna?
I'm gonna drink tea
Okay,
because I'm done.
you're done.
Oh, you
I'm
finished.
taking my time. I'm
Okay.
pacing myself.
Will I move that, or will I leave it there?
Do whatever you want to do.
Oh, we're still on, aren't we?
We're still on. There's no rule on this channel.
Okay.
If you want
I've
to jump
got
in.
questions
Okay.
for you. Okay, this question is for Rose. Have you done any activism and any activism stories? Do you have any activism stories?
What counts as activism?
That's a good question.
This is why I asked this question, read this question out because this is
I've never been like on the street doing what you guys do.
Yeah.
But I guess I do it in my way of, sharing videos and talking about this online.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is something
yeah.
we talk about all the time, that we don't all have to be doing.
Animal rights activism in the traditional sense of being out on the
Street
street.
activism. So there's so many ways to advocate for animals, and this is what you do. And any stories that you want to share with us about what you do.
I don't know. That's a very wide, I just make videos and I talk about stuff and
How do people react to it?
oh, I touched on this in the last video that we just filmed. But I think when I do because I do videos where I do just talk, which isn't the norm on the channel, but you guys know that sometimes I'll do a video where I just talk about a vegan topic, and I like to open the discussion. I think it's important to talk about, even if we have different views. Everyone has different views on
Yeah,
everything,
on
so
everything.
you're never going to agree on everything. I try to come at it from a more logical approach, and I try to think about, okay, is this going to make sense to the other person listening? Because you have to also think about how my mind was at before I went vegan.
Yeah.
So then when I take the more logical approach of trying to explain things rather than getting emotional and upset, which it is easy to get emotional and upset,
Yeah.
but you try not to. And then, yeah, people usually have a pretty I do get a very good discussion going when I talk about these things.
Yeah.
Very good. Like, people comment and they write like paragraphs of things, and most people are very respectful, even if they don't agree. They're quite respectful on my channel anyway. I don't know.
That's probably because you're sharing your opinion in a very respectful, informative, objective manner, logical manner, and so people are resonating with that, and they're responding accordingly. Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some videos where I was like mad.
That's because we're human. We have all range of emotions, you know.
So I just dumped that.
You're just spilling everything.
There are so many ways, as Natasha said, that we can advocate for animals. So you can just live vegan, and that's great. You're no longer participating in the exploitation of and violence towards animals. Fantastic, given that 99% of the rest of the world isn't.
Yeah.
Right? But then the next step is to help educate others about what are the benefits to animals, the environment, and people's health for going vegan, for example.
Yeah.
And, you know, look at you. You've got 2 YouTube channels, 5 Instagram accounts, and a vegan restaurant. I mean, and a recipe ebook, yeah?
Right, ebook,
Right.
yeah.
So you've thought of all these ways that you can spread the vegan message far and wide.
Yeah.
So all we ever do is encourage people to think about how they can use their passion, skills, and interests to advocate for animals in any way that they can.
Yeah.
Basically, just do something.
Yeah, do something.
Do something in some way.
So what do you say to people that are, you know, maybe they're not as outspoken as we might be, and someone that's very shy and very, you know, they don't want to be in anybody's face. So like, what would you recommend for that kind of person?
I would say, you know, it doesn't have to be face-to-face, for example. So we came across a guy recently whose background is in like SEO on the internet,
Right.
you know, and ranking things in Google. So what he thought he'd do, he'd write articles based on animal rights issues. So for example, factory farm chicken, for example, and he would list all the various terrible things that happen in that industry that people don't know about, which is why they currently buy the product, because they don't know what the industry is doing, because it's deliberately kept hidden from them. And he would say, okay, how can I use my skills in SEO to get that article ranked as high as I can in the Google search result, so that when someone's Googling poultry farming, he managed to get it as the 4th highest ranking result behind Wikipedia and Britannica, which are the 2 online encyclopedias, and then like Tyson Chicken, which is the world's 2nd largest chicken processor, for example, and then his article came up.
Right.
So he wasn't having any interaction with anyone, just utilizing his skills to advance animal rights.
And even if you are on social media, I don't think that you have to be such an outspoken person. Like, you don't have to engage with anyone. If you're on Instagram or Facebook and you have a vegan account, your caption is going to say everything. That's where you put all your information. So you can put up whatever post you want. You don't have to engage with people that are going to leave comments and argue with you. Everything you want to say is in that caption. You just put it out there, and then that's it.
Okay, now we have drinks because we finished with the food. I love how we're like, how are we going to eat 2 meals?
How are we not going to eat 2 meals?
I don't know. Let's do another question here.
While you're looking for one, I have to say I love your hair colors.
Thank you.
I know.
like-
I was excited to see what hair color we'd find when we came here. Like, she's going to be blue, she's going to be green.
Yeah, I've changed it multiple times in the YouTube journey.
Yeah.
And it perfectly matches your top today.
Oh yes,
Like,
it's green
super-
and green.
Like, spot on.
And all like your caricatures in the avatars and that. I love it how they're with blue hair.
I know.
It's really cool.
I had red hair for a long time,
Yeah.
and then I was gonna change it, but everyone's like, whoa.
I kicked the camera, you kicked the light.
Oh, was that the light?
That was me. That was me.
Oh, you
Covering
okay?
my
Oh my
elbow.
god. Yeah, I had red hair in the beginning, and then I had red hair for a while.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I want to change it, but I feel like it's like my trademark.
Yeah, but the blue is now your new trademark, or green.
Yeah, it was blue and then now it's
Yeah.
green. I don't know. Anyways, whew. Ooh. I don't want to like, it's so charming. Do you think that ex-vegans on social media have a responsibility to reveal they are no longer vegan?
So I want to get something controversial out of this.
No, great question.
Yeah,
Great.
so
What do you
question,
think?
do you think-
we might have different opinions? I don't know.
Do you think ex-vegans on...
social media have a responsibility to reveal that they are no longer vegan?
Okay, so let's just start at the start. We have made several responses. Like, I'm going to choke on my tea. What am I gonna say? We've made several responses to this issue. When you go vegan, it's it's something. Do you disagree with this? Maybe you
No,
don't.
no,
I don't
no,
know.
no.
Okay, this is
Continue.
All right.
I'll let you know if I disagree.
All right. It's not something that you just switch on and off. It's not a fad. It's not a trend. It's not a commodity. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to change my hair color, right? When you're vegan, and this is what we discussed in the previous video, you are vegan for animals.
Yeah.
And that's because veganism is not just a diet. So you can just change your diet, meaning you're in a plant-based diet, but if you're still buying leather or wool or silk or fur or down, or if you're still going to the zoo or buying animals as pets rather than adopting companion animals, all of those things have nothing to do with your health, have nothing to do with you personally. So therefore, you're doing those things for the benefit of the animals. Now, once you understand that, once the ethics just, boom, they lock in, they click, that's not something that you just switch off. So these ex-vegans, what it means is they weren't really vegan to begin with. They were simply eating a plant-based diet, which is, obviously a great start. That's good. The majority of animal exploitation and violence happens in the food industry. When they leave their plant-based diet, sure, tell people about that. The problem we have is that they will often leave the plant-based diet for health reasons. Then they start introducing animal products, which does not make sense because the science is telling us that there is nothing in animal products that we can't get from a plant-based diet, and there is nothing that we need from animal products for our health. In fact, they're detrimental to our health. So then what they often do is they start just going off a little bit.
No, go ahead.
No,
I'm listening. I'm listening intently.
The problem is that they then start making recipe videos and mukbangs eating these animal body parts and secretions, which when you're on social media, you're an influencer. Whether you like it or not, people are influenced by what you're doing. They're following you. They love you. And so then you're kind of making it okay, and you're normalizing the consumption of animal body parts and secretions. And then they will, I now have to have eggs and salmon for my health, for example, but I'm going to go and buy a wool rug and buy a dog from a pet store or from a breeder.
Right.
What does that have to do with your digestion?
Right.
Right? Like wearing wool does not help your acne.
Right.
So it starts off as one thing, and then it just becomes this whole other, hey, let's just jump right back into the animal exploitation basket, and everything's okay and normal, but I'm being transparent. Give me a break.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay, Natasha,
I get what you're saying. No, I get it, yeah.
And it also extends to something called speciesism. So speciesism is where we as humans think that we're superior to non-human animals, and that some non-human animals, like dogs and cats and whales and dolphins and tigers, etc., are superior to other non-human animals like cows, pigs, chickens, ducks, turkeys, goats, fish, sheep, etc.
The animals that we've been conditioned to think is normal to eat.
Right. Once you understand that animals are here with us and not for us, you've broken through the speciesism barrier. Right. And sometimes it takes education to do that because we're indoctrinated into speciesism. We're fed the body parts and secretions of dismembered animals from when we're 6 months old, maybe, by our guardians or parents, right? The people that we look up to, we don't even look up to someone at that age, but the people who we entrust and are considered the gods of our worlds and universes, they couldn't possibly be doing anything wrong by us.
So it's totally normalised.
It's totally normalised, right? But once you've seen the education by watching films like Dominion, Earthling, Speciesism, the movie, that type of thing, then you've made that connection that animals are here for us, that animals are here with us, not for us. So the equivalent would be like, imagine let's say I was racist and I was sexist, okay? And then somebody educated me about how evil racism and sexism is, and I now know better. So I'm no longer going to be racist or sexist, right? But then all of a sudden, a few years go by and I start being racist and sexist again, but I know better. So
how does that happen?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you either believe inherently that racism and sexism are wrong, or you don't. Same as you either believe that speciesism is wrong, or you don't.
Right.
And veganism and speciesism are linked,
Right.
Veganism is kind of like an antithesis to speciesism, if you like.
Right. Yeah. So then what do you say to this is all. I think the question was, should they say anything on social media?
Anyway, which I think I said they should announce it. Be honest, but maybe don't promote it.
Right.
And I mean, certainly, it's hard because we would never do that, but just say that we had to go back to eating animals, which we'd never do anyway, so it's just stupid to say it. But just pretend I would not stay on social media. I would be so devastated, and I would never want to promote that. I would get the hell off and do something else with my life.
Right.
I certainly wouldn't be normalizing it to my hundreds of thousands of followers.
Right.
And the reason I felt like it was necessary to go into what I did was because the question included the term
vegan.
ex-vegan.
Right.
So,
Like,
can you be an can you be an ex-non-racist?
Right.
If those terms are ridiculous, then the term ex-vegan is equally ridiculous for the same reasons.
I guess like where I'm curious because there's people that were as far as they knew they were ethical vegans and they were.
And that, again, is that not a superfluous term? If veganism is an ethical way of life, then to say someone is an ethical vegan is superfluous.
Right.
So they were just
Do you know what
vegan.
I mean? They were just vegan.
Okay. So then they were vegan, as far as they knew that they were vegan.
Okay.
And made the ethical connection.
Okay.
So then, what's the rationale? Because I think I have a slightly different viewpoint. Like, I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying I think what I think is that this is what I think. And I'm not saying you're wrong. But
There should have been something in this bottle.
I need a shot. My viewpoint is that as much as I want to believe that human beings, we are ethical in nature, we're actually not. And I think we have so many issues. Even if whether or not you're vegan, we probably do shit that's not ethical. I don't know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I actually don't think that it's as black and white as, I made the ethical connection, and at that time maybe you did make the ethical connection, but then because there's so many other factors involved in terms of the society that we live in, and we're less than 1% of the population. I always say we're more social creatures than we are ethical creatures, and I think that we do things to fit in rather than to do the right thing. So I'm not saying that I think we should do the right thing, but I think that people fall into that trap very easily, even if they think that they're ethical. What do you think about that?
I think, are any of those reasons why they might fall back to eating animal products and their secretions and using and abusing animals in other ways? As you said, social pressure, maybe convenience or culture or tradition or habit, whatever it is. The question is, are any of those moral justifications for...
They're not.
Okay,
but,
so given that they're not, therefore they have a moral obligation not to be sharing those new evil practices with others, given that the influence that they have as social media influencers.
Right. So you're saying that they have a moral obligation to not share that kind of new information.
But I'm also saying they weren't vegan to begin with at the same time.
Right. Okay. I got it.
Yeah.
Do you have something to add?
No. Again, if I was to put myself in their position, which I can't because I wouldn't, but just pretend for argument's sake, I would be so devastated and so embarrassed and so like, what the hell is going on in my life? I would get off social media. I would not be promoting it. I would not try to normalize it. I would not try and justify it. I would just go and do something different, because whatever I'm going through as an individual does not justify what's going to happen to the billions of beings out there that are victims of our choices. And
we can come back to speciesism again, for example. Let's say they were puppies or kittens.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
No one would find that socially acceptable if they went back to doing that.
Yeah. I just think a lot of people come to it for the diet, for health, for weight loss, and it's kind of happening on YouTube. It's social media, it gets a lot of attention.
It's trending.
And people, it is, and that's a good thing in many ways. And yet when people don't make that connection and fully understand it and apply it in their life forever, then it becomes like a, we can just kind of switch this on and off. But again, if it was for health, then why is buying a wool rug or wearing a wool jumper, what has that got to do with helping your digestion and your skin? Right.
And I think we would be naive and ignorant not to think that social media platforms like YouTube have a tendency, and I'm generalizing very broadly here, to attract a lot of narcissistic people.
Oh yeah, totally.
And so I believe
social media is...
That's right. Yeah. Now I believe that doesn't make the three of us narcissists just because we're YouTubers. I'm just saying that the platform has a tendency to attract a lot of narcissists. In my experience, I've met a lot of the people who have gone back to eating animal products, and I believe that a number of them are narcissistic, and Also, mental health issues can play a
Yeah.
role.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's true.
between narcissism, mental health issues, and never having actually broken through the speciesism barrier, there's a few of the
There's
reasons.
a recipe for
you know,
disaster,
yeah.
really, and the animals are the victims.
Oh, and eating disorders.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right.
Right,
That
so
is a big problem.
There's a
Yeah.
whole cluster of
Yeah.
factors.
Yeah.
None of which, again, are moral justifications
Right.
for needlessly exploiting
Yeah.
animals.
But are
Why-
potential reasons.
Why did you ask these questions?
No, it's a good question. I think these
It is a
topics
good,
need
no,
to be
people want to
discussed.
know this
I
stuff,
know.
you know?
Asked because
Yeah.
people care about
Let's
it.
see.
Yeah.
What else? How long have you been vegan and have you seen health benefits?
Okay, so we went vegan in August of 2011. So
Ooh.
it's almost 11 years. Oh, 11 years. No, almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I went vegan June 2014. So that would
Okay.
be 5 years.
All
Is it
right.
5 years? Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, this month? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, there
I
you
went
go.
vegan when I moved to the UK, basically.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Before I was pescatarian, I told you the story.
Yeah.
Health benefits.
Yeah, so it was actually, it was when we started to include more whole foods and reduce our fat content. Like we took oil out of our diet, and that's when we really saw the health benefits. So I had crazy asthma, even as a vegan. So it wasn't like taking out dairy, which usually fixes it for a lot of people. That didn't really help me. It was when I took oil out of the diet.
Oh,
After
Right.
having taken all animal products.
Oh
out.
yeah, like I was vegan for years, but
Yeah.
then took out oil
Yeah.
and just reduced the amount of nuts and seeds. Like still have some, but we
Yeah.
were having like crazy amounts. And within 2 weeks, I noticed I wasn't using medication anymore.
Wow.
I wasn't wheezing. I wasn't coughing. I wasn't having attacks.
Yeah.
And so that has been like for me probably the biggest thing. And also I found my allergies got way better.
Right.
Way better. I used to have very bad allergies.
We were just sharing this story with another vegan yesterday on a hike. Because we were on a hike, it brought up the memory.
Yeah.
We used to live in Ecuador in the Andes for a little while there, and I remember this was when Natasha's asthma was at its worst. And
Right.
she was vegan at the time.
Okay.
But as she said, we were having a lot of oils, a lot of avocados, a lot of nuts, a lot of seeds, very fat-centric diet. And anyway, her asthma attack one night there in Ecuador was so bad, we literally didn't know where her next breath was coming from. We were
It was
both really,
scary.
really
It was
scared. We were
scary.
really, really
That's all.
scared.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we did some research, came across that thing about fat, made the changes that Natasha mentioned. 2 weeks later, we went to Peru. We climbed Machu Picchu,
Oh,
which is in
wow.
high altitude,
Yeah.
and the hike was quite strenuous. She didn't have an asthma
Wow.
attack. Didn't
Wasn't
even
even
wheeze.
wheeze.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that cemented for us. Wow, those dietary changes we made were clearly the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had chronic candida, which I suffered from on and off for 7 years, and it was
Right.
really physically and emotionally taxing. And in the end, the same changes that we made helped me overcome that candida.
Candida.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Question about candida. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard that candida diet you can't eat like sugar.
yeah, exactly.
So,
that's
do you eat sugar?
Well, that's the thing. We did the Candida diet, and
Okay.
it didn't work, and it's not sustainable.
What's the candida diet? No sugar, no fruit?
yeah,
Yeah,
that type of
very
thing. So
little
it's
fruit.
avoiding carbohydrates
Right.
as much as possible.
Who wants to do that? Oh my god.
Carbohydrates are life,
Yeah.
The body's preferred source
Yeah.
of energy is glucose, outside of starvation mode.
Right.
And glucose is most readily obtained from carbohydrates. And that's why, if you look at the plant kingdom, the majority of plants are very high in carbohydrates and relatively lower in fat and protein.
Right.
Again, that's kind of just, I don't want to use an appeal to nature
Yeah.
fallacy, but
Yeah.
that's kind of nature's way of saying, hey,
Eat this.
carbohydrates is what's
Yeah.
best for human diet type thing. So anyway, it turned out lowering the fat consumption,
Helped.
the fat intake, really that was the key.
Yeah. So it wasn't a Candida diet. It was just a whole foods
Right.
vegan diet.
Right.
Which was full of carbohydrates,
Right.
but whole food carbohydrates. So
Right.
a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables, a lot of
But whole
potatoes,
foods, yeah.
sweet potatoes,
Yeah.
legumes, those type of
With
things.
no oil, and then lower the fat, and
Right.
boom, that was
Yeah.
just.
Wow.
Now all of those things still have fat in them,
Yeah.
and plus, you can still have, nuts, seeds, avocados, all
Yeah.
those great healthy
Yeah.
fats, but just, you're not going overboard.
Right.
Yeah, like for example, we were making bread, like raw bread, out of nuts and seeds, which is delicious.
That sounds really good.
Right, it was.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
really good. We
absolutely.
had it dehydrated. We were like getting into raw food quite a lot, so we would
Right.
make like trays and trays and trays of these nut and seed bread.
And then we'd slather it with avocado and olive tapenade.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little
very
fat,
fatty.
heavy.
And
Yeah,
like
a little
when
fatty.
you have a huge portion of that, it's just
It's a lot.
so different in your
Yeah.
body. And then oil was in besides breakfast to all other meals.
Yeah.
It was just too much.
This is why like vegan diets are not all created equal.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you can eat like anything like that on a vegan diet. You can eat junk food every day.
Exactly.
Be vegan.
Exactly.
So it's just not.
So vegan and health
Yeah.
are not synonymous.
No.
Yeah. So
but whole foods.
Okay.
I mean, that's what
Yeah.
the science is telling us, and we know
Yeah.
from our personal experience that were the two
Totally.
things that were really just plaguing us a bit throughout the years.
yeah.
And that's
I
been
don't know if I've noticed changes, but I was also pretty healthy to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think also coming from like a Korean background, we weren't that heavy on meat. Like I did eat meat
Yeah.
like all the time, but it wasn't so meat centric. We'd always have rice, lots of veggies,
Yeah.
and meat would be a part of the meal, but it was never the full thing. For me, I didn't notice a huge difference, but I also think that I didn't follow like a super heavy animal-based diet. I also didn't eat a lot of dairy to begin with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll do.
That's
That's the
massive
problem.
change,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whew! I have a lot of questions.
I know.
Let's see. Oh my gosh.
an email.
Okay, it's gonna go on forever.
We share a phone, so that's why I'm not checking.
Do you share a phone?
We do.
I was wondering. I was gonna ask you because I was like, do you guys use the same phone?
Someone asked, how did you get your dog?
Oh, I actually talked about this in.
Have you already done this one? You done
Yeah, but I'll briefly mention it. So what happened was it was kind of by accident. Basically, my friend's friend. I talked about this in a mukbang video. I'll link that below if you want to watch me eat and listen. But some people, oh no, you've already watched this mukbang video, so you don't mind. It's like some people don't like chewing sounds. I'm like, oh no, you already watched. Anyway, I forgot we're filming them up.
How did you get your dog? New dog.
That dog! Oh my god! So my friend's friend had adopted a dog from a shelter, and somehow this dog was pregnant.
Oh.
The shelter did not know.
Oh.
Kind of weird.
It can happen. It can
Right?
happen.
It happened.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining now. So yeah, so the dog ended up being pregnant and then ended up having 7 puppies. And then my friend, because I was already kind of, thinking about adopting, but I would look and I'd be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But then, this just happened. So then these puppies, were up for adoption. My friend posted about this on Instagram because it was my friend's friend.
Yeah.
So my friend posted and showed all these puppies, and I was like, oh my god, where are you? I was like, and then she wrote like up for adoption on the thing, and I was like, are you joking? Like I was like out. I was like having beer, and then she was like, they're up for adoption, and I was like freaking out. I was like, I need
Choke on the beer. Where's the puppy?
Yeah. And then I went to see the puppies like a day after.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna adopt one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her name is Nari.
Nari, yes.
Nari.
It means lily in Korean.
Oh, I was
Nari.
going to ask you.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So you say nari.
Nari.
There you go.
We
got that.
Nari. Yes,
Yeah.
you got that.
Talking about Nadi and the mukbang. What we love about that story
Yeah.
is that adopting and not shopping, right?
Yes.
Adopt animals.
And there's
to-
so many that
So many.
need homes.
Yeah,
Like
we don't need to be breeding more animals into this system of commodifying them and
Yeah.
selling them through pet stores or directly from breeders.
there's puppies up for adoption all the time. Adult animals are also, there's good reasons to adopt them too. They're much more well behaved, probably some of them.
Yeah.
Because they're trained.
Yeah.
Puppies are hard, okay?
Yeah, puppies are
hard. Okay, and let me just tell you, I'm lacking sleep at the moment. I was at my parents' house yesterday. Oh, she's staying at my parents'. She lives with my parents.
Yeah.
Anyways, long story.
Yeah. I was just going to say, the pet industry is not something that a lot of people are aware of.
Yeah.
And so if people want to learn more about it, they can watch the animal rights documentary film Dominion here on YouTube to learn about what happens inside the pet industry.
Oh, is it on YouTube to
It's
watch?
on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's had
Okay.
almost 500,000 views.
No, it's actually up to 750,000 now. It's
Wow.
had 250,000
Right.
new views since the disruptions in Melbourne on the 8th of April to bring awareness to the film Dominion, where activists, including ourselves, were trying to encourage more people to watch it.
My metabolism is very low. I'm gaining weight. We should. Okay. This is health advice. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable giving health advice, but I don't know. Do you guys have health advice?
I think Natasha touched on it before, when the best available balance of science is telling us to base our diets around whole plant foods. That's going to help us lower our risk of developing the leading causes of death and disease.
Yeah. And, go for a walk, a little bit of exercise.
Exercise. Oh, strength training is
Yeah,
important.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like muscle building, because
Yeah.
I'm an expert in this field.
Well,
But no, it does help.
Aren't we?
Yes, like lifting heavy things and putting them back down.
Yeah.
That helps.
That's it.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
bags of
Yeah.
noodles.
Strength training does increase your metabolism like in the long run, but you have to be very consistent.
Yeah.
Do it all the time. Over years, you will gain more muscle, which increases your metabolism over time.
Yeah,
And
you burn more calories at rest with more
yes,
muscle
exactly.
mass.
And getting enough sleep.
Yeah,
I know
to go to
that's
bed
really important.
early.
Not being stressed.
Yeah.
That's a big factor.
Drink lots of water.
Yes.
And sleep well. Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
The stress is a big
Yeah,
Yeah.
factor.
definitely. It's
Yeah.
very often overlooked as
Yes,
Yeah.
often overlooked. Okay, next. Health. I'm like, I don't give health advice. Do you ever get tired of people that don't want to listen about veganism? I think this is for you guys. What do you do?
Yeah, we just keep talking about it anyway. If they don't want to listen to it, then they'll switch off, or they just won't watch. But you'll find most people are actually quite fascinated by it. They may resist it, like they don't want it, but they'll keep watching, they'll keep
Right.
listening because it's intriguing.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's as you said before, it's trending, and I don't want to say that like, it's just a trend, but it is the topic of, I think, our generation.
Yeah.
Putting us in the same generation. But yeah, I think people will just continue wanting to absorb this information and learn more because it's just becoming the normal thing to do. And it is the normal thing to do. Not to exploit animals. It's just eat plants.
Yeah, and also I film a lot of conversations that Natasha has with non-vegans on
Yeah.
the street, and even if I know they're saying things that she's heard a million times, and she's walking them through the rebuttals to their various excuses, even if there's resistance or defensiveness, the people then watching the video on YouTube, watching that conversation, they're learning, and so she's
Right.
always got that in the back of her mind that this is educational not only for the person that I'm speaking with, but for the people who are going to later watch this conversation on
Yeah,
social
it's
media.
like I'm not having a conversation just with one other person on the street when we're doing outreach. I'm having that conversation with the thousands of people that are watching this video around the world. So I'm very conscious of that. And I know that people watching have clicked on it for a reason. Even if it's to hate it or to judge it, they're still clicking on it. They're
Yeah.
still interested in something vegan.
Yeah.
And chances are that the people watching share similar excuses and objections to the person that she's speaking with, because we've all been indoctrinated to believe that eating and wearing and using animals is normal, natural, and necessary. We're all raised in that culture.
Yeah, so they're gonna
Therefore, we're going to
hear
share
the
similar
response.
excuses
Right.
and objections to veganism, aren't we?
Right, totally. You're not gonna just like talk to someone and they're gonna, I'm sure rarely they're gonna be like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna go vegan.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. Even for me, it took a long time. And it just, sometimes like it takes a long time, like just hearing it over and over again, or even just that first conversation, even if at that time they're like, oh, like screw this, they might think about it later on.
It's called the 100-point system. It was something that was created. It's true. It was created by, or coined by an activist in Israel, actually. We talk about this in our activism workshops. And basically, let's pretend it takes 100 points to get someone from zero, like not knowing anything about veganism, to actually going vegan. And so each of those points are like little seeds being planted.
Yeah.
And so it might be, oh, you're watching this mukbang by accident. Like, why am I clicking on these three? What's going on? This
Oh,
might
we didn't do it. We didn't do a thumbnail. Sorry.
Oh, we didn't
Oh,
either.
no.
That's great.
It might be like
We're great YouTubers.
20 points, right? Maybe after watching this mukbang,
Yeah.
because we've raised about so many
Yeah.
issues, and then you might go and watch a documentary, might raise it, give you another 15 points.
I think we mentioned Cowspiracy before on Netflix,
And
didn't we? And
yes,
then Dominion did on
Dominion,
YouTube, and all of a
yeah.
sudden
By
you
the
get
end of all this, you've got 100 points, and you're vegan for life, and everything's good.
Great! I like it. How do you deal with trolls and anti-vegan videos made about you guys?
Oh, we don't have time for it. That's a genuine yawn. That's perfect timing. We don't even watch those videos. Like, who's got time for that?
Yeah.
Honestly, life on tour and life planning these activism tours is so full on. If you were to take on all of the stuff made about you on social media, you would go literally insane.
Yeah, you would.
We don't watch them. Do you actually watch the videos made about you?
No, I never watch videos. I don't know if there's video. Some people were commenting saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
so-and-so made a video about you," and I was like, "I'm not gonna watch that." Why? Like, because I didn't know what it was. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, maybe it's positive." Because some people
Yeah.
say nice things. I like Googled it or like, YouTubed it, and it was like you could tell it was gonna be a hate video. I was like, I'm not gonna watch this shit.
We are on YouTube.
Yeah.
Actually, I should say, we are on social media for one reason only. Animals. I don't want to put my life on YouTube. I don't want to put my life on Instagram. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really, up when we were like nearly 40.
And you can't,
who
you can't,
cares?
if you care, if you watch those things, it's just not, it's not good for your mental health
No,
anyway to begin
it's
with. Even if you don't like care, it's like, you just want to stay away from like, I don't know.
Even
like,
if that's stuff in
point?
your life. We're here for
Yeah.
animal rights.
And are those
That's the
people
only
gonna-
reason we do
Yeah.
it. So taking on board
Yeah.
anything else we're not on here for this
Yeah.
shit, you know?
Yeah.
We're just gonna do what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Focus on that. Focus on liberating those animals from their cages and tanks,
Yeah.
and the horrible things we do to them needs to stop. So when you focus all your time and energy and love and commitment and passion into that, anything else is like, what?
Yeah.
Who cares? Like,
Yeah.
what's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we're not here for that. So, in terms of trolls, we embrace the hate. You know, we do love those comments because, as we were talking about, I think previously, and the algorithm loves engagement. So the algorithm doesn't care if it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
They just want people engaging.
Any comments will do.
Right.
I'm
So-
sure you get lots of comments in your videos.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Our Facebook is ridiculous.
Yeah.
A lot of farmers, like a lot of
right.
the farming community comes over. From
Right,
Australia
right.
and they're on our Facebook. So that's all fine. It means it helps our posts grow, and it also means that we are causing enough of a stir to get a reaction. It means we're speaking very strongly for the victims,
Right.
and that's gonna get a bit of pushback. So we see it as a really good sign.
And anytime
That's it.
people try to create massive social change, there's always going to be resistance.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So even when you look at other social justice movements, because animal rights is the social justice movement of our time, and previous social justice movements like, you know, civil rights, the women's rights movement, gay rights movement, and we look at, you know, figures who led those movements, not that we're leading, we're just involved in the movement, but figures that we all know and respect and admire today, collectively, like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Cesar Chavez. They weren't necessarily that popular in their times. They also received trolls and hate and resistance and defense to the message. It's only now, with the benefit of hindsight, that we
some
look
were
back.
assassinated.
Yeah,
Right.
Gandhi was assassinated.
Totally. Yeah.
Martin
Was it
Luther
Martin?
King Jr.
Yeah,
both,
exactly.
right? So we now look back and collectively respect and admire them, but they weren't necessarily that popular in their time, because they were trying to create massive social change.
Yeah.
So it's to be expected. In fact, one might say it's a good sign if we're getting resistance, because it might mean that we're speaking loudly enough for the victims and speaking against the injustice strongly enough.
I do notice now there are more like anti-vegan things.
Yeah.
So I do think that is because it's getting bigger.
Yeah. As much as the movement will grow, so will the anti-movement. So it's all it's equal. So it's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's a good sign.
As the quote goes, the wind blows.
Sorry.
The wind blows hardest the closer you get to the mountaintop.
Oh.
That's a nice one.
Wow, that's
not
a
his
nice
original.
It's not my original. It's not mine.
Put it on a shirt.
It's not
Quote
mine.
the
I can't,
person
but
on
it's a
it.
good quote. Whoever said it, thank you.
Well done.
Should we do one more, or are we done? Pick the best one.
All right. How do I refresh this?
Maybe just go back and then just, maybe do that. I'm teaching them about Instagram, you guys. They were shockingly unknowledgeable.
One thing,
It was a pretty obvious thing.
No,
We've been on it 4.5 years. I think we'd have got
I
it
was
by
pretty
now.
shocked. I've just changed their Instagram game. You have me to thank.
I bet you the algorithm favors those
The
long
bigger ones,
pictures
yes,
as well.
because
This could change our lives.
It's bigger for the feed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
People stay on the platform longer.
Oh, Luca, what have we
Can I tell them what you didn't know?
Yeah, you can.
They didn't know.
Yeah, please.
They asked me, they're like, I have a
Self-deprecation is our
question.
forte.
They're like, do you have an iPhone? I was like, no. They're like, then how do you make those Instagram pictures not square? And I was like, what? I was like, are you asking me what I think you're asking me?
Could you be that stupid? Yes.
I was like, they changed that a long time, because I do remember back in the day you couldn't make it other than a square.
But it's been out for a while now.
It's been a
For
few
2
years.
Yeah.
No, probably,
Maybe 3.
We use that option for like video. If you need to make a video that's not in the square, we would use that. But I always thought that it would post the white lines on the sides.
Now you know that they don't.
Oh, my life is going to
I
change.
just had to make fun of you.
Yeah,
I know,
that's totally
thank
cool.
you. Well, now you can
I was like, you guys.
one very quick one.
Okay.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
That's sweet, isn't it?
Sweet.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's
We had a very
sweet.
good time today.
We've had
filming.
fun.
Yeah.
We've been filming for a while.
Yeah,
I know.
Filming and eating.
Oh my god.
Doing what we do best.
Here's your real last question. Easy and cheap meal staples. Go.
Woo! Oh my god, there's so many. It's hard to say. Okay, let me think at the top of my head. Stir fries, like with beans or tofu, and just as long as you have a good, we were talking about sauces. Sauce is very important.
Yes.
As long as you have a good sauce, you can just throw
Do you
together
have a
stir fry.
playlist for that? Sauces?
I-
oh my god, don't say you don't.
I should make a playlist for sauces. I have a playlist for
Dressings?
like easy, like 15-minute recipes. I also have like go-to meals, things like that. But you guys have oatmeal all the time. That's a big go-to. It's cheap and It's easy.
Yeah.
I like have you tried buckwheat noodles, like soba noodles?
Yes.
Love them.
That
Love
is
them.
so good.
good.
That's like one of my favorites. That's so easy. Takes 5 minutes to cook. Throw in some soy sauce, tamari.
Yeah.
Throw in a little bit of like, I don't know. You can throw in
Veggies.
anything, like really veggies,
Edamame.
edamame.
Edamame and buckwheat noodles.
So good.
A little bit of
And tofu.
avocado.
Yeah,
And then we'll
avocado.
sprinkle some sesame
So
sauce.
good.
And you're done.
So good.
Should
Yeah.
we eat again or something?
Yeah.
Did we just eat? Or are we hungry again? So many different things you could eat. I mean, I have like 300 videos on this channel, and like some of them have like 3 recipes. So I don't know how many recipes I have on this channel, but there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Excellent. We've been saying
You have
people,
some recipes too.
we do. You know, one of our highest viewed videos is the
Rice cooker one. Have you seen? No. Oh,
No,
yeah,
the
that
rice
one.
cooker
There it is.
one, yeah, yeah.
I've seen that one.
No, it was an oatmeal recipe video. It's like we talk about such important things about animal rights, but everyone wants to know the oatmeal recipe.
They want to see the,
Like, oh
the
my God.
food. They want to see the
They wanna
practical
see the
tips.
food.
Yeah, totally.
So it's a balance. We always find
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
striking a balance between
Yeah.
telling people what they need to know,
Right.
even if they don't want to hear it. You got to
And
hear
then doing
it,
the popular
and
video.
then doing, you know, what's
Right.
going to help people out in the real world. Like, what do I have for breakfast?
Yeah, no, totally. When I first started my channel, I was actually not intending it to be a recipe channel.
Yeah.
Somehow it became one, and I was like, "Am I doing this? Like, I don't know how to cook. I've improved a lot since I started the channel, thank God. But on the cooking,
I'm joking.
I don't know. Some people might disagree. Who knows? Yeah, it just kind of went that direction, and then people are like, "Oh, I want more recipes." I'm like, okay. I guess I'll pretend to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
People just want to see, you know, what everyone else can do. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not Gordon Ramsay over here.
Better than Gordon Ramsay.
And it's better. Like, I don't think they should be super gourmet and tricky
Yeah.
because who's got time for that?
Yeah.
It's too
Once in a
hard.
while, it's good. I think there's a
Yeah.
time and a place
Yeah.
to cook for an hour, but
Yeah, but every now, you know,
No
every
one has
day
time.
you just
Yeah.
want to throw things in a bowl.
Well, I guess if the bowl was too hot when you were pulling it out of the microwave, you'd grab a towel.
Just don't drop it on the squirrel.
towel.
Or get your bowl.
what's another like Australian saying or word that sounds very different in my accent?
Straw.
Straw?
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, that
Straw.
was clearly different.
Straw.
Yeah,
Straw.
See,
yeah.
it sounds like.
Straw,
Do
mate.
not take any offense to
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
guys. Love my Australians,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Tell
But
us.
when you guys talk, sounds like you're swallowing your words. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, no.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you did that really well.
No.
What's that?
No.
No.
Oh,
That was really good.
Yeah?
Really good.
She doesn't
Have
agree.
you practiced that? Because that was
Yes,
good,
I used
yeah.
to make fun of you.
No, that was good.
I
That
didn't
was
understand
good.
that.
And say home.
Home.
Yeah, you're swallowing the word.
Home. But you're
Home.
drawing everything out.
Yeah.
Home.
No, I don't say her.
Yeah. We're swallowing our words, and you're drawing them out 100%. Yeah.
Home. Home.
Anyways, oh my god, this is turning into something else. Australia versus Canada accents.
That could be a whole other video.
All right. Oh my gosh, are we done?
I
Is
think
that
so.
it? Holy
I think
crap.
so. Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun. Thank
Oh my
you.
god, thank you for coming and
Thanks for cooking.
Thank you
yes,
for having
no
us, Rose, and
problem.
thank you for entertaining us. It's been so
Yay.
nice.
Oh, so yeah, check out if you haven't watched their video that we posted another mukbang on their channel. I'll link that down below. I can't even talk anymore.
Yeah.
Just as do you ever find you get like
Yeah,
after a while you're
definitely,
just like I can't talk.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so their video with all of us in it is linked below. We filmed that one before this, so we might make a little bit more sense in that video. Although I'm not sure because
I
we
don't
haven't
know.
we hadn't
Yeah,
been
we
fed
can't
yet.
guarantee
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. A lot happened on that video.
It was good too.
It feels like yesterday. Like it's been a long filming process. I need a nap. Anyways, yes, don't forget to check out their channel and their Instagram and all of their things that they do.
Especially our new long Instagram posts now.
Yes,
That's been
they're
really
going to step
improved.
up their
That vegan
Instagram.
couple, you know.
Turn on notifications for Rose's channel if you haven't
Oh,
already, so
yes.
you don't miss an upload.
Oh, thank you.
You might
yes.
want to do the same for ours if you want.
Yes, exactly. Subscribe to all of us.
Comment down below.
Comment down below.
Share these videos.
Let us know what you thought of this video below. Like
Only if
this
it's
video.
a good comment.
Yes.
No, you can be a bad comment too, because it's engagement on the algorithm. So
That's
it's
it,
fine. Do you
yeah.
have a special outro?
And not really.
Okay.
I just say bye, so you could do your outro. Do you want to do your
our
outro?
outro?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm gonna let
Okay.
them do their outro because
All
I
right.
don't have a special. See, I don't have like t-shirt worthy sayings and special quotes. I don't.
But
I
you
really.
have green hair. That's better than anything.
You have Rose. That's all that's needed.
Okay.
Until next time.
Remember, going vegan is not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do.
Bye.